Hey, it's Chris here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about sleep, the impact that the month-long challenge is having on my sleep, and also sharing with you some of the things I do to try to make sure that I have as restful a night's sleep as possible. During the course of this month-long challenge so far, what I've found in terms of my sleeping patterns is that I'm getting to sleep more quickly and I'm staying asleep throughout the night. Generally, these have been challenges for me. With multiple responsibilities, like many people, my mind gets quite cluttered, and sometimes I wake up during the night and I have to get out of bed, or I find that it's hard to stay asleep. I also find that it's hard to get to sleep because of all the things that you have to think of in preparation for the next day and beyond. Many people are deeply aware of the need of a good night's sleep from the point of view of physical recovery, but it's really in terms of our brain functioning that sleep is so important. And when we have periods of disrupted sleep or poor sleep, things like our mental agility are reduced, our language capacities are reduced, as is memory. So it's very, very important to make sure that we get good night's sleep, and especially during a period of real intense physical activity such as the one I'm undertaking. That need has increased for me personally. So I do certain things in order to make sure that I can get the best night's sleep possible. As I said before, having a cluttered mind is something that I experience with a degree of frequency. So certain things that I do to combat that cluttered mind, wherever I can, I will try to do meditation for maybe 10 minutes before going to sleep, and I make sure that I do that meditation outside of my bed so that I can then relax my mind, reduce any kind of stresses or potential anxieties about going through the next day and the weeks coming, and that way that has a real positive impact on my sleep. The other thing that I might do if I'm feeling like I've got a lot on my plate is to write everything down that I need to do for the next day and going forward. By doing that, I take all my thoughts out of my head and I put them on a piece of paper or on my phone. I use Google Keep quite a lot. And that way it's not floating around in my head as I'm trying to get to sleep. The other thing that I do is if I do wake up during the night, I will initially try to stay in bed and try to calm my breathing and relax so that I can get back to sleep. But if I really can't do that, then I will get out of bed and make sure that I'm noting down whatever's going on mentally for me. And again, by doing that, I take it out of my head and thereby I'll allow myself to get back to sleep. I also try to make sure that I eat not more than 2 hours before going to bed. So if I go to sleep at 11 o'clock, my last meal or last sort of snack will be maybe 9 o'clock. There have been times when I haven't adhered to that, and the act of digesting during the night has kept me up. So that's another thing that I do to make sure that I get as good a night's sleep as possible. Also, in regard to minimizing the impact of aches and pains, I try to pay attention to the position that I'm sleeping in. I find that the worst position for me to sleep in would be on my stomach. Frequently, if I'm sleeping on my stomach, I will also put my arms under the pillow, and what that does is I will turn my head, and what that does is it puts a great deal of stress on my neck. It twists my spine, and then when I wake up the next day I can feel that. So I try to pay attention to making sure that I sleep in the best positions. The best position, for me anyway, is to sleep on my back. By doing that, I allow the shoulders to come back, stretch the chest out, I allow my hips to sink into their natural position, and when I wake up, if I can do this, when I wake up I can feel the benefit of doing that. Sometimes I will also sleep on one side or the other. This is better than sleeping on my front, although it does have the impact of torquing the spine. So it creates an S in the spine as my hips and my shoulders are lower than the middle part of my back. but at least the tension is in 2 dimensions. I haven't twisted my spine and then placed a downward pressure on them. Physical aches and pains will sometimes keep me up during the night, so as much as I can, I try to make sure I do my stretching and my foam rolling. So I hope this video has given you some things to think about in terms of your own sleep. As I said at the beginning, I have noticed that my sleep has generally improved. Saying that, still the impact of the Tabata sprinting with cycling and daily life, I got to admit that I am tired, physically tired. So I'm just going to continue to do the best I can. But I hope that some of this information proves useful for you in your own sleeping practices. Take care.